All right, so welcome to the financial reporting paper, and we call it as FR or F7 previously, financial reporting, FR/F7. Now, first of all, you need to understand this paper. That this paper is basically an advanced paper of the financial accounting. So basically, you have studied the financial accounting in ACCA paper FA or F3. So that was your base paper for the financial accounting. And the advanced paper of this financial accounting FA or F3 is this financial reporting FR or F7. Now, first of all, let's discuss how many of the topics you have studied in the FA or F3 exam that is common with the financial reporting paper. So for example, you have studied IS 16 over there, which was the tangible non-current assets. So you have studied almost the complete standard over there. But yes, the level of questions would be different. Similarly, you have studied IS 38 over there, which was the intangible non-current asset. Again, the knowledge was almost there, but again, the level of the financial reporting FR paper is going to be different from the FA or F3. Then going further, you had a flavor of IS 10 over there, which was events after the reporting period. So this was another standard that you have studied over there. Similarly, you have studied IS 2 over there, which is the inventory standard. And again, you have studied much of it in the FA exam. But yes, again, the level of the financial reporting questions would be different from the FA and F3. All right, going further, you have studied, again, you have taken the flavor of IFRS 15, the revenue recognition thing. They just gave you the flavor of the 5-step model over there. So this IFRS 15 was there as well. Going further, there was IS 37, which was the provisions, contingent assets, and contingent liabilities. So again, this standard was there as well, which you have studied. Now these are the few standards which you have studied over there. So obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 standard. You have taken the flavor of these standards over there. Now there are some topics in particular other than the standards which you have studied in your financial accounting or F3 paper. Now, if you're, for example, if you're a student who are coming into ACCA from any other qualification and you have taken the exemption, then that is not the case. Maybe you have not studied these topics over there. So there is no need to be worried. I'm just mapping out the topics. I'm not assuming any knowledge that you will be having for the F7 paper. So just don't think that if I'm writing these topics over here, so I believe that you know each and everything and I will not be discussing these things. That is not the case. We are just mapping the things so that if you're coming from the ACCA background, like from the paper FA or F3, that will be more convenient for you to understand this financial reporting paper. So it will become easier for you because you know these topics. But for us, we are not going to take anything for granted. That we'll not be assuming any knowledge that you will be having. Okay, so going further, then we have the preparation of single entity financial statements, which we used to call it as final accounts. Even in F7, sometimes we call it as final accounts. So the preparation of the single entity financial statements, the single company, in which you used to prepare the statement of profit or loss, the statement of changes in equity, the statement of financial position. So you already have the idea of preparing the financial statement, and same is the topic in the F7 as well, which usually comes regularly, usually tested regularly, in which you are supposed to prepare the financial statement. But there, the adjustments were relevant, to the accruals and prepayments, receivables and allowances. Here, the adjustments are going to be relevant to the standards, For example, relevant to the IS 16, relevant to the IS 38, for example, the taxation standard. So again, the level is different, but you already had a flavor of this topic, or you can say a glimpse of that topic in the F3 or FA paper. Similarly, you have studied the consolidation over there. So you can say 50% of the consolidation you have studied in FA or F3 exam, 50%. There are other things which adds on that 50%, but again, we'll not take anything for granted. Similarly, you have the statement of cash flows topic over there. Again, so when it comes to the basic cash flow, you have studied that thing incomplete, but again here the adjustment in the cash flow would not be that much simple. Here the adjustments are going to be standard wise. So the statement of cash flows, again this topic you have studied as well. Moving further, there was another topic which is the interpretation of the financial statements. So you see these are the four main topics which are tested in the section C of F7 exam. Section C, which constitutes of constructed response question. The section A and B are the objective test questions, objective test case questions. So these section C, you can say the case study question, long question, or the constructed response questions, where you are supposed to solve these things in the Excel or the WordPad. So 2 questions of 20 marks each. They are tested in the F7, the financial reporting exam. So all of these 4 topics which are part of the FR syllabus, all of these 4 topics which are part of F7 syllabus, you have studied those topics in your F3 exam. But again, telling you again that we are not going to take anything for granted. Once we are explaining you anything, we'll explain you from the scratch, but just doing the mapping for you so that you understand that these are the things which you have already studied in the previous paper. So now if I write the standards, both IAS and IFRS in the F7, let's make a list of it. So there's a big list that you need to do, starting from IS1, which is the presentation of financial statements, and then IS2, which is the inventory, and then we go to the IS7, which is the statement of cash flows, and then we have IS8, which is accounting estimates, accounting policies, and then we go to IS10, which is events after the reporting period, and then we go to IS12, which is the taxation, and then we go to IS16, the property, plant, and equipment. Then we go to IS20, which is the government grants, and then we have IS21. So IS1 is about financial statements, 2 is about inventory, 7 is about cash flow, 8 is about accounting policies and accounting estimates. IS10 is about the adjusting and non-adjusting events. 12 is about the taxation. 16 is about the property, plant, and equipment. 20 is about the government grants. And 21 is the effects of the changes in the foreign exchange rates. So it's about Forex, foreign exchange rates. Okay, then moving further, you have IS23, which is the borrowing cost. Okay, so again, moving further, you have IS28, which is the accounting for associates. Okay, then moving further, you have IS33, which is the earnings per share. Then we have IS36, which is impairment. Then we have IS37, which is provisions, contingent assets, and contingent liabilities. Then we have IS38, which is about intangible assets. Then we have IS40, which is about investment property. And then we have IS41, which is about agriculture and biological assets. So again, you see a long list of IES that you have to do within the F7 exam. So we'll be discussing how they are tested in the F7 exam. But before that, let's discuss the topics in detail. So we have discussed the IAS and IFRS. Sorry, IAS. We are yet to discuss the IFRS. All right, so let's come to the IFRS, which are in your F7 exam. So it starts with the IFRS 3. So we have the business combination, which is relevant to the consolidation. And then we have the IFRS 5, non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operations. Then we have a very, very important standard in the F7 exam, which is IFRS 9, a big standard known as the financial instrument. So this is again business combinations. This is asset held for sale. And this is very, very important standard known as the financial instruments. Okay, then we have again IFRS 10, which is relevant to the consolidation. And then we have IFRS 13, which is relevant to the fair value measurement. Then we have IFRS 15, which is the revenue recognition standard. And then we have IFRS 16, which is for leases. So you see there's a long list of IAS and IFRS that you're supposed to do in order to pass the F7 exam or the financial reporting exam. So that is why I was doing the mapping, that okay, these are the topics that you have done here. For example, you see IAS 16, you have done it in the financial accounting, this exam, which was your base paper of accounting. And then going towards IAS 38, yes, you have done it. And then IAS 10, you have done it. IAS 2, you have done it. IAS 7 cash flow, you have done it. IFRS 15 of flavor, yes, you have done it. IAS 37, yes, you have done it. So there are many standards, even in the consolidation, yes, the goodwill calculation, the business combination, and then this IFRS 10 relevant to the consolidation. So you have actually done these standards in, and when it comes to the topics, so the preparation of the single entity financial statement, consolidation, statement of cash flows, interpretation, which are the same topics in F7. You have already discussed those things in your financial accounting exam, but mentioning again that we are not going to take anything for granted. Okay, let's discuss the exam pattern, how the exam is going to be, how many sections are there, how many questions will be there. So let's discuss those things. So we have section A first of all, and then we have section B, and then we have section C for, sorry, constructed response questions. So this is the section B. All right. So within the section A, you have 15 objective test questions at the rate of 2 marks each. So that constitutes 30 marks. Within the section B, you have 3 questions. You can say objective test case questions. And within that, there are 5 objective in each question, in each of these 3 questions at the rate of 2 marks. So that means One question, 5 objectives into 2, 10, 10 into 3. So you have 30 marks for it. And then we have the section C for CR questions, which means the constructed response questions, and at the rate of 20 each. So 2 CR questions, and that makes 40. So the total is 100 over here. Now you see that examiner has the complete opportunity to test each and every topic, each and every standard almost, because they have 15 objective test questions. So that means, for example, if they're giving one question from each standard, let's assume, but that is not the case. Sometimes you get, for example, 3 to 5 objective test questions from consolidation, and then a long question on consolidation as well. Just like in this attempt, the recent attempt, the student was telling me, sir, I'm very confident regarding my exam. I'm 100% sure that I'm going to pass it. And I said, what is the reason of your confidence? He said, I got consolidation majorly of around 40 marks, a full-fledged question, and then a lot of objectives on that. So I did great in consolidation and the rest of the portion as well. So because the consolidation are the absolute marks that you also, whether it is the right option or wrong option, you already know it, because of it's just like a maths and calculations over there. So he was very confident. So he had questions, much of the question from the same topic. But again, that is not with every student, because with the computer-based exam, everyone will be having different paper. So they have a lot of questions in a set, and then they shuffle it accordingly and give different paper to different students over there. So section A, B, and C. So 15 objective test questions. So examiner can at least test almost 8 to 10 standards over there. And then we have 3 objective questions in which we have 5 requirements. So a lot of standards can be connected. For example, IS 16, 20, and 23 can be connected. A single case study can test all these 3 standards. So there are standards which they can mix. And then even in the topics, for example, consolidation, because there will be a small case study, and then you have multiple requirements of it. So they can test these topics of section C as well. It's not just the case that these will only be tested in the section C. You can have the objective test questions from these topics, as well as this section B, question from section B as well. So examiner has the complete opportunity that they can test each and every standard, each and every topic. But more specifically, when it comes to these 2 CR questions, so you only have the 4 topics that you need to prepare within these. So one is the preparation of the single entity financial statements. And then you have the consolidation. Then you have the statement of the cash flows. And then you have the ratios and interpretation. So if you're thinking the examiner has only 2 questions, there are 4 topics. Nowadays the examiner sometimes merge these questions. For example, they merge the single entity financial statement with the ratios. Sometimes they merge the ratios with the cash flow. Sometimes the consolidation with the cash flow. Sometimes consolidation with the ratios. So nowadays they are merging these topics as well. So you can expect any type of paper in the exam that testing all these topics within the CR while merging the questions. And then you can see a range of standards being tested in the section A and section B. So that means you do not have any choice to leave any topic. You need to do each and every topic of the exam. So then there are few things that you need to know if you want to pass the financial reporting paper. First of all, this paper requires the detailed understanding of the standards and the topics. So you cannot just cram it straight away or learn it by heart and then having no concept at all. You won't be able to pass with that approach. So you need to understand the topics in detail. so that if any type of question is coming in the exam, sometimes you are doing the question from the exam kit and the past papers, an examiner gives you entirely a different question in the exam that is not being tested earlier. So how you can do that? You will only be able to do that when you have studied the topics in detail and you have studied those topics conceptually. This is the first thing you need to remember. The second thing is that you need to study alongside the lectures. So that means when you're appearing in a 3 month session, that means the quarterly session, March, June, September, and December, then you need to study on daily basis. So study regularly alongside class. Whatever topic you're doing, you need to do it alongside the class. Okay, then the third thing is the practice on CBE platform. Or for example, if you're not able to access the platform every time, then make sure that you are doing the practice using the Excel, the spreadsheets, and you're using the word pads, the typing thing, because obviously in the question like ratios, you need to use this for the interpretation. So you need to have the typing speed for it. If you're not having a proper typing speed, if you have not enough practice to use the spreadsheet, then you won't be able to complete your exam. And if you're not able to complete the exam, then you won't be able to clear it. So that is something very, very important. And then practice from exam kit. First of all, you cannot use the past papers directly because sometimes there are changes in the standards. Although the ACCA website nowadays have all the past papers which are currently updated. So, but don't go for too much old past papers. So use the exam kit because they are updated. And alongside you can do the recent past papers. So let's say if you are doing the updated Kaplan kit, so at least last 2 to 3 past papers, which will not be in your exam kit. So just do those 2 to 3 past papers. Otherwise, everything is in your exam kit. So these are the few things that you need to understand if you want to pass the financial reporting exam. Uh, Now, obviously, there is a schedule for the live sessions. For example, if you're taking the extensive course, now how this extensive course works, that you will be having the access of the recorded lectures, and alongside there are live sessions. So once you enroll, or for example, if you have already enrolled, so you get the details of these live sessions from me. So there's a plan for it properly. The live classes are planned twice a week. So there's a proper plan for it and how many standards or how many topics you need to cover before the live session. So there's a complete plan for it. If you're already enrolled, you can get this plan. Otherwise, when you get enrolled, you will be shared that particular plan for you. So alongside the recorded classes, which is on your web portal, you will be taking the live sessions as well. So that is a part of the extensive course. But if you have only opted for the recorded lectures and no live sessions, then you can only prepare yourself from the recorded lectures. So this is all about the financial reporting exam. I've mapped this thing for you with F3, and then I've already explained you the exam pattern. And make sure that you are doing each and every topic because there's no choice for it. And then there are a few things that you need to do in order to pass this exam in the first attempt. And then the extensive course, live sessions plus the recorded classes. Okay, so now regarding me, your tutor, Rashid Hussain. So I have been teaching this subject and the similar subjects. When I say similar, that means financial reporting, corporate reporting, strategic business reporting, in different streams, not only in ACCA, in CA, in ICW, in CPA. So I'm teaching even in the universities where they are teaching financial reporting standards in Australia, in the UK. So I'm teaching this subject from last 8 to 10 years, more specifically, and so it's almost a decade. I am teaching this subject, almost a decade. And regarding my experience alongside teaching, I have been in the firms, accountancy firms. I have been in the industry, in the audit, internal audit, and alongside teaching, I used to do the freelancing. Not nowadays, because of the time issue and some family commitments. I'm just into the teaching. I'm teaching at a renowned institution in Pakistan as well. So I'm the head of department over there in the in the morning time, and then my own online business school, and then with this uh, live classes and others, some other commitments as well. So it's been more than a decade I'm in this profession. Now you will be using my class slides, which are prepared from different books and different sources that include the stepwise examples, test your understandings that will help you to understand the standards and the topics quickly. And then I'll be providing you the short notes for the revisions, and sometimes I'll be providing you the extra questions to practice more. Because, for example, if you see the latest Kaplan kit, there are not enough questions on the statement of the cash flow. So I'll be providing you the extra questions sometimes for the topics which are not uh, properly given in the exam kit. So extra questions for that, and then regular tests and evaluations. If you want to test yourself with how is your preparation, obviously you can give us the tests. And then we will be having the mock exams, and then extensive course also includes the revision sessions by the end of the course. But if you have only taken the recorded ones, then you will not be able to get that opportunity. So I'm talking about the extensive course. So this is all about the paper and something regarding me. And so when you enroll, you get all this stuff. Get yourself enrolled. And if you're already enrolled, you can just talk to me on the WhatsApp. See you then. Take care.